Libra, my dear soul aligned with grace and balance, see a financial storm is on its way, and it's not coming to destroy you. It's coming to deliver you. From September 16th to 18th, 2025, the cosmos is orchestrating a rare and powerful alignment to wipe away your poverty, release years of delay, and pour abundance into your life. And yes, if you've landed here, it's not by accident. You've been guided. This is not just another horoscope video. This is your wake-up call from the universe, a divine whisper that says, get ready. Something extraordinary is unfolding for you. Because you, Libra, have just stepped into your 3-day portal of wealth, transformation, and divine financial flow. Here's why this matters right now. Venus, your ruling planet, the planet of money, beauty, and self-worth, is forming a powerful trine with Pluto, the planet of total transformation. At the same time, Jupiter, the cosmic giver of fortune, is unlocking new opportunities through communication, connections, and divine timing. And on September 17th, the moon passes through Aquarius, lighting the fire of innovation and creative income. Together, these alignments form a cosmic recipe not just for luck, but for soul-level financial elevation. Let's pause for a moment. Ask yourself, have you been praying for a breakthrough? Have you been stuck in a cycle where abundance felt just out of reach? If you've been faithful in silence, let this be the moment when heaven answers you publicly. Because as it is written, when you pray in secret, your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. Now, I need you to understand this, Libra. This is not the time to hesitate or overanalyze like you often do. This is not the time to seek harmony and wait for signs. This is the time to act. The gates are open, but only you can walk through them. What you're about to hear in this video could rewrite your financial future, not just for this week, but for years ahead. You'll discover why this timing is perfect, what signs to watch for, and how to prepare your life to not just receive money, but sustain wealth from the inside out. Before we dive deeper, let me take a moment to say this. Let me sincerely thank you for being here. Every like, every comment, every time you subscribe or share Zodiac Whisper Tarot, not just supporting this channel. You're strengthening your own spiritual connection with the path the universe is laying before you. Your presence here gives meaning to every message we share, and your energy helps keep this sacred space alive. So Libra, tell me, what did your spirit do to lead you here, right now? Because something inside of you is already aligned with what's about to happen. And believe me, you'll want to stay with me until the very last moment of today's message. Now, to anchor your energy and activate this portal, I want to hear from you. Comment below and write, I was chosen to receive divine wealth. Let that be your declaration of readiness. Let's begin. There are moments in life when the air feels charged with something we can't quite explain, when time slows down, not in a mystical way, but in a deeply personal and emotionally revealing one. Libra, what you're about to walk through during September 16th to 18th isn't just a favorable astrological transit. It's a season of inner renewal that reflects on your outer circumstances, particularly your relationship with value, money, yes, but also your self-worth, your purpose, and your voice in the world. When Venus forms a harmonious trine with Pluto, it quietly invites you to reevaluate what you believe about power and worth. Not power over others, but power over your own choices. Often, we think of wealth as something external, something we chase. But what if, during these 3 days, you're meant to remember that wealth is something you embody? That you are not empty, lacking, or behind, but rather, you've been in a season of pruning, preparing to be filled? This Venus-Pluto harmony signals a time to release the old narratives you've inherited, maybe from family, culture, or past experiences that told you abundance was for someone else, not you. Perhaps you've learned to equate struggle with virtue. Or you've minimized your dreams so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. But this cosmic alignment offers a different kind of truth. When you release what is false, what's real finally has room to grow. This is not a test. This is an invitation to allow in what you are finally ready to receive. As Jupiter casts its supportive light from Gemini, the pathway to that abundance will likely come through connections, conversations, emails, collaborations, and even unexpected messages that seem small but carry divine timing. You might notice an idea you've dismissed before returning with new clarity. Or you may find yourself drawn to speak something you've held back, only to discover that your words open doors for someone else, and in return, for you. Jupiter teaches us that generosity and receptivity are two sides of the same energy. So if a gift, an opportunity, or a person shows up during this window and it feels alignant, second guess it. Don't push it away out of fear of being seen or of being too much. Your ability to accept good things without guilt is part of your healing now. In many ways, receiving becomes your spiritual practice. And then comes the moon in Aquarius on the 17th, an emotional awakening disguised as a creative breakthrough. This is where ideas turn into income, and innovations are born from intuition. Aquarius is ruled by insight, future thinking, and rebellion against the conventional. So if you've been trying to follow someone else's path, these lunar influences will gently but firmly redirect you back to your own. Your most profitable ventures may not make sense on paper just yet, but they will feel unmistakably true in your bones. Trust that. Some people call these downloads. Others call them instinct. But you'll know it when it comes, because it will feel like the fog finally clears. It will feel like breath returning to a chest that didn't know it was holding so tight. This is your yes. This is your path forward. You might not be religious, but if you've ever whispered a prayer in the dark asking for direction, a sign, or a way out, this moment may very well be the gentle answer. Not loud. Not dramatic. But real. And loving. The kind of shift that doesn't just change your circumstances, but changes how you show up in them. Perhaps you've been carrying the weight of expectation, of needing to figure it all out. But what if the invitation now is simply to listen, respond, and trust the steps will light up as you walk? You don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to stay open. And if any part of you feels like these words were written for you, then they were. Leave a comment below and confirm it with the words, I am open. I am ready. I receive. Let the next chapter begin there. Quietly. Powerfully. In your own way. Sometimes, what we call struggle is really just a habit dressed in fear's clothing. Libra, because you value harmony so deeply, you often wait for the perfect conditions before you take action. You want everything to feel right, to look balanced, to be fair to everyone involved. But in that wait for approval, for clarity, for timing, you may have unconsciously trained yourself to remain still even when your soul is ready to move. What begins as a desire for peace often becomes a cage of hesitation. This part of your journey asks something bolder from you. It asks you to notice the small, quiet decisions you've made in the name of stability that have actually kept you limited. Things like saying yes to what feels safe instead of what feels true. Or choosing not to speak up because you didn't want to disturb the waters. This is not judgment. This is awareness. And awareness is the first breath of freedom. The deeper truth is this: poverty is not a punishment. It is not a divine judgment. It is, more often than not, a way of thinking passed down from voices that were once scared too. Maybe someone once taught you that wanting more was greedy. Or that if you had money, others would suffer. Or maybe, in your quiet heart, you believed that if you suffered long enough, it would make you more worthy of being blessed. But now, in this season of your life, you are invited to gently question those beliefs. Not to fight them. Not to shame yourself. Simply to ask, do these ideas still serve me? There is nothing spiritual about struggling to the point of burnout. There is no prize for staying small to make others feel comfortable. What if wealth wasn't about accumulating stuff but about reclaiming your right to choose, to rest, to give, and to live without the weight of fear? In astrology, this September's alignments ask you to break free from the cycle of mental scarcity. Venus and Pluto are working together to help you redefine what value means to you and, more importantly, who gets to decide it. Jupiter is giving you tools through new connections, fresh thoughts, and glimpses of bigger possibilities. The only thing that can block this is an old belief that says you're not ready. But you are. You always have been. There's a simple self-reflection I love to offer when people feel stuck in financial fear. It's not about manifesting faster or working harder. It's just this: if I don't shift something today, what will my life feel like 5 years from now? Not in theory. In practice. What kind of home will you be living in? Who will be beside you? What kind of freedom or restriction will be shaping your daily experience? The point isn't to scare you, it's to awaken a deeper truth that already lives inside you. You were not created for lack. You were not born to suffer silently. You are allowed to choose differently. Sometimes I think the most modern miracle isn't money falling from the sky, it's the quiet decision someone makes in the middle of an ordinary week to stop surviving and start living. To look at their finances not as a burden, but as an extension of their emotional life. To stop seeing money as evil or hard and begin seeing it as a tool for creating experiences that align with who they truly are. So take this as a gentle reminder: you are not too late. You are not behind. You're just at the edge of a new pattern. And if you choose, you can step forward with grace. Not with a dramatic leap, but with one clear thought: I am allowed to want more, and I am ready to receive it in peace. Let that be the new habit you begin today. Not every door makes a sound when it opens. Some of them ease open in silence, waiting for the one who can sense the shift in the air. Libra, what's unfolding for you now may not come with flashing signs or loud announcements. In fact, it may arrive quietly, like a familiar name appearing in your inbox after months of silence, or a casual conversation that unexpectedly ignites something deep within you. This is how opportunity often shows up, not dressed in certainty, but wrapped in subtlety. And this time, it's waiting for you to notice. The astrological influences guiding your path, particularly the synergy between Jupiter and Venus, are activating what I call intuitive intelligence. It's the space between logic and emotion, where you feel something is right before you can explain why. You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need to analyze it 10 different ways. You just know. But knowing and trusting are two different things. And that's where the work lies, not in figuring it out, but in choosing to believe what already feels aligned. This part of your journey is deeply personal, because it asks you to stop looking for permission. For years, maybe you've asked yourself, is this too risky? What if I fail? What if I'm not qualified? But what if the only real question now is, what if this is exactly the door I've been waiting for and I miss it because I'm waiting for it to look more obvious? Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and when it's working hand in hand with Venus, it tends to bring gifts wrapped in relationships, timing, and resonance. That means what's coming may arrive through a person, a conversation, or even a small invitation that doesn't look like a big break at first glance. It could be a one-off project that becomes a life-changing collaboration. A passing idea that becomes your next source of income. Or a moment of insight that shifts your entire direction. These are what I call divine detours. They don't always follow your plan, but they carry the essence of your prayer. Tarot helps us visualize this energy in the form of the High Priestess, a card of mystery, inner wisdom, and quiet power. She doesn't shout. She doesn't prove. She simply knows. You may feel her presence during these days, especially if you've been sensing something approaching, something waiting. The High Priestess reminds you that the answers you seek are not out there in the world, theory already planted inside you, like seeds of possibility. The only question is, will you listen? We are often told to trust our gut, but trusting it when money, reputation, or change is involved requires courage. It requires a willingness to be wrong. But more than that, it requires a willingness to be right and still choose yourself. That's what this moment is offering. And for you, Libra, a sign that often balances between everyone else's needs and your own, this is your time to step into alignment with your own knowing. If you've ever felt a moment when you just knew something was for you and your whole body said yes, even before your mind caught up, then you already understand the power of this part of your chart. This is the week when those moments are more likely. Not because magic is happening outside of you, but because your inner senses are sharper than usual. And when you act on them, that's when you become magnetic. So ask yourself gently, what opportunities have been circling around me that I've been too cautious to claim? What if the next yes is already knocking and it's just waiting for your trust to open the door? If you've had a moment like this when your financial intuition led you somewhere unexpectedly fruitful, share it in the comments. Someone else may need to hear your story to find the courage to follow their own. Creativity doesn't always look like painting a canvas or writing poetry. Sometimes, it's the small but bold choice to show up different, to offer a new idea in a team meeting, to share your voice in a space you once felt silent, or to take something ordinary and give it your unique perspective. Libra, this season isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to participate. Because from September 16th to 18th, the energy flowing through your chart is not only supporting abundance, it's asking for your collaboration in creating it. One of the greatest misunderstandings about money is that it only comes through labor, pressure, or logical strategy. But what if some of your most profound breakthroughs are waiting in the energy of joy, imagination, and expression? When the stars align the way they are this week, the universe isn't pushing you toward hard effort, it's opening up space for you to be in flow. That means anything that lights up your heart, anything that makes you forget time because you're so deeply immersed in it, may also be the very path that unlocks new income, influence, or clarity. If you work in a creative or service-based field, whether it's design, coaching, beauty, writing, or social content, now is the time to pay close attention to those random flashes of inspiration. Don't wait for them to be fully formed. Jot them down. Voice note them. Let them be messy at first. There's wisdom in the unfinished. And very often, it's the ideas we overlook, the ones we almost don't bother to say out loud, that become the most impactful. If you're in a more structured environment, like corporate or office work, don't assume that creativity isn't part of your path. On the contrary, Libra, your gift is in how you perceive connections others miss. That spark you've been sitting on, the proposal, the process tweak, the "what if we tried," could be the very thing your company didn't know it needed. And if you offer it from a place of authentic service, not ego, the energy it generates will ripple outward. Promotions, partnerships, or unexpected offers often emerge when someone dares to be a mirror for fresh perspective. For those building online platforms, sharing insights, or exploring digital income streams, this energy is magnified. It's not about being viral. It's about being visible to the right people at the right time. Don't underestimate the power of your presence. A short post. A heartfelt video. A story that resonates. All of these are seeds. And seeds don't ask for guarantees before they bloom, they ask to be planted in faith. That's where a gentle practice can help. Each morning, before the day pulls you in, take just a few minutes to write down 3 creative nudges. Not goals. Not polished plans. Just 3 ideas, even fragments, that come to mind. Over time, you'll start to see patterns, and from those patterns, your direction will become clearer. Some will bloom into projects. Others will lead you to people. And a few might simply unlock the version of you you've been waiting to meet. When in doubt, follow the feeling. You'll know the difference between a forced idea and an inspired one. The inspired ones might scare you a little, but they'll also expand you. And that's how you'll know it's part of your path. This window of time also invites intentional visual energy. If it resonates, wear or surround yourself with colors that mirror the vibration of what you're calling in. Green for renewal and growth. Gold for amplified wealth and divine confidence. And white gold for clarity and grace, especially when stepping into unknown spaces. These are not magical solutions, but they can serve as quiet anchors, reminding you of the energy you're cultivating and the future you're aligning with. What's most important now isn't how ready you feel. It's whether you're willing to take the first step, however small, with the trust that your creativity is sacred. Your ideas are not random. Your voice is not too late. And the world isn't waiting for you to be perfect, it's waiting for you to be present. Abundance is not just about how much money you can make, it's about how well you can hold it, direct it, and allow it to multiply through intention and wisdom. Libra, the truth is, attracting money is only the beginning. What truly defines your prosperity is how you manage your relationship with money after it arrives. This phase of your journey invites you into deeper responsibility, not out of pressure, but from a place of empowerment. The universe can only pour into vessels that are ready to receive and sustain, not just temporarily, but long-term. When you begin to look at money as a form of energy, it shifts everything. Money flows where clarity goes. So when your intentions are aligned, when your systems support your goals, and when your emotions no longer sabotage your decisions, you begin to experience a kind of financial ease that feels natural, grounded, and freeing. It no longer feels like chasing. It becomes receiving, stewarding, and amplifying. A gentle place to begin is by organizing your finances into simple, sustainable proportions. The 503020 method is one that not only grounds your spending but nurtures both your present and future self. 50% goes toward essentials, the things that keep your life running smoothly. 30% supports your personal growth, your joy, and your spiritual or creative expansion. And the final 20% is dedicated to savings and investments, building the foundation for your future, even if it's only a small amount at first. This structure is not about restriction. It's about freedom. Because when you give every dollar a place to belong, you begin to experience peace instead of guilt. You shift from reacting to your money to building with it. That shift alone is powerful. Equally important is how you hold emotional energy around money. Many people, even when they earn more, still feel empty because they haven't healed the scarcity mindset that tells them, it's never enough. That's why practicing gratitude is more than a spiritual exercise, it's an energetic key. Each time you receive money, whether large or small, take a moment to acknowledge it. Whisper to yourself, I am worthy of this, and I thank you. That simple statement rewires the part of you that once felt undeserving or ashamed. It tells your subconscious that you are now a safe place for wealth to land and grow. But we also need to gently watch for financial leaks, those places where emotion drives us to spend without alignment. Sometimes we buy to soothe, to reward ourselves, or to prove something. But real abundance doesn't require you to impress anyone. It simply asks you to honor yourself. Pause before impulsive spending. Ask, is this feeding me, or is this a distraction from something I'm avoiding? There is no shame in the impulse. Just awareness. And from awareness, you can choose differently. One of the most beautiful ways to stabilize your financial flow is by giving from a full cup. Not from guilt. Not out of obligation. But from the overflow. Even setting aside 5 to 10% of your income for generosity can create incredible energetic circulation. Whether it's helping a friend, supporting a cause, or even paying forward a kindness, this keeps your wealth alive, moving, and blessed. It teaches your heart that money isn't something you hoard, it's something you circulate with wisdom. And here's something quiet but powerful to remember: how you treat the small things tells the universe how ready you are for the bigger ones. If you can care for the $20, you're preparing yourself to receive the $2,000. It's not about the amount, it's about the attention. The faithfulness. The intention. So perhaps now is the time to reset your mindset, to look at every dollar not just as currency, but as a mirror reflecting how you feel about yourself. Let it reflect trust. Let it reflect balance. Let it reflect your readiness. Because you are not meant to fear money. You are meant to flow with it, and in doing so, become a vessel for even greater abundance to come. There's something beautiful about realizing that you were never meant to simply wait for life to change. You were meant to participate in that change, to rise toward it with intention and clarity. Libra, what we've explored together today is more than a forecast or prediction. It's a call. A reminder that you are not a passive receiver of luck, you are an active co-creator of your financial reality. The energy of abundance doesn't fall randomly, it flows toward those who make space for it, who align with it, who believe they are worthy of it. And you are. This upcoming period from September 16th to 18th isn't just astrologically significant, it's energetically defining. Yes, the planets are opening doors. Yes, the winds of change are favorable. But ultimately, what matters most is what you do with what you now know. The breakthroughs will not only appear outside you, they will awaken from within. This money storm, it's not here to drown you in pressure. It's here to wash away the fears, the habits, and the limiting beliefs that kept you from recognizing your own value. So let's be honest with ourselves. Where have you been dimming your light? Where have you been choosing safety over possibility? And most importantly, what would change in your life if you decided, right now, that you were ready to be wealthy in more than just money? Wealth in peace. In time. In choice. In freedom. That is what you're being called into. And it begins the moment you claim it. Let this video not be something you only watch once and forget. Let it become a touchstone, a daily reminder that this energy is real, and that you are fully capable of stepping into it. Come back to it. Play it again from the start each morning during this powerful 3-day window. Let your subconscious absorb the truth that you don't have to live by the patterns that were handed to you. You get to choose a different legacy, a different vibration, a different future. I want to thank you, deeply, for sharing your energy with me today. Every moment you spend reflecting, every time you pause to comment, like, or share, you're not just supporting this space, we're rebuilding something sacred together. This community, Zodiac Whisper Tarot, is here to remind you that you're never alone on this path. The more you give to your own transformation, the more the universe reflects that back to you tenfold. So, dear Libra, if something in you shifted today, if something felt true, let it stay unspoken. Anchor that energy now by commenting below, I have stepped out of lack. I choose abundance. I am ready to receive. Let those words become your daily affirmation, your sacred promise to yourself. And if you felt seen in this message, if your heart whispered yes at any point, then like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone you love. Because the moment we begin to speak abundance aloud, we invite it to become real in our lives. You are not waiting on a miracle. You are becoming the miracle. And I believe, with all my heart, that these next few days could be the turning point you've been waiting for. But not because something will magically happen to you, because you will say yes to the version of you that's been waiting to rise. I'll see you in the next message. Until then, stay open, stay grateful, and remember, the money isn't coming to rescue you, it's coming to recognize you.